And you're live.
Am I live?
We are live right now.
So happy St. Patrick's Day. We are the Tapping Out Show. We figured we'd go ahead and finish off the rest of our beers that we've been drinking for St. Patty's.
Nitro Irish Stout. So, St. Patty's Day, we're doing an Irish Stout. We love nitro beers. We got these poured out and ready to go. Breckenridge Brewery out of Colorado.
So this is a Nitro Irish Stout from Breckenridge Brewery. It is probably the 6th beer we've reviewed today.
I don't know.
But because of St. Patty's Day, we figured we'd go live on YouTube. It's the first probably live show we've done together.
Yeah, we've done other live shows for other things, but we haven't done a beer show yet live. So
we figured before we get too wasted, we got a couple more beers we want to share with you guys. We want to go ahead and go live.
First thing I'd like to say is we got some awesome episodes coming up for you guys. We just filmed some really cool beers today. We saw the Irish Stout. We got inspired to go live today, and just kind of do this for you. Irish Nitro Stout. We love nitros. It's St. Patty's Day. Nitro Stout. Just kind of makes sense.
So shout out to Craft Cascade and Let's Have Some Beers. Those are some friends of ours. They've done a lot of stuff with us and a lot of stuff sharing with us, so we wanted to make sure that everyone checked those guys out too, their YouTube channels. This is a nitro. It's a hard pour, so I had to pre-pour it before we started. It is black as molasses. It is definitely a stout. It's definitely got a lot of foam to it, a lot of head to it. I mean, let's face it, nitro, that's what happens.
Yes, it says right here, it's got a smooth cascading dry stout brewed with roasted Irish malts.
And you can smell it. You really can. It's
you can definitely smell the malt.
The alcohol content of this is pretty low. It's actually in the 4s. It's less than 5. I don't have the stuff open because I can't get the laptop started. So besides that, we're gonna go ahead and try these out. Cheers.
Cheers.
That is so smooth.
Yeah, super creamy, easy to drink. I mean, low alcohol, especially for some alcoholics like us.
Let's face it, the last beer we just had right before this was 12% alcohol.
Yeah, we've been drinking 12s and 8s and higher. We've done a lot of Scottish beers today.
IPAs,
Some some reds. And then once we did this one, we're going live for St. Patty's Day here. But yeah, it's not too strong, but definitely a good beer. Nice and smooth. If you haven't had a nitro beer, either at a bar or a brewery or out of a can or bottle, you definitely should try it. For me, sometimes they're too creamy. This one is definitely not too creamy though. This is definitely a good beer, not too high in the alcohol content, and
it's on the money.
Easy to drink.
Well, because here's the thing about nitro is that nitro basically is the best way to take whatever your favorite beer is and then knock it up to the smooth level. When I was I shouldn't say kid, when I was a young adult, most people that did nitro beers was Guinness, and it wasn't even nitro; it was CO, I believe.
Yeah.
And the concept is to infuse gas inside something that's very heavy and make it not so heavy. And a lot of stouts do it. A lot of other beer companies have been experimenting with, say, IPAs, which actually we just did a nitro IPA from Guinness, by the way, that make it, it's almost a chemical reaction. It's one of the best things that I've actually seen with beer companies, that we have found things that we really love and they put on nitro and it's so much better. Or
yeah, I just had a peanut butter nitro at this bar down the street, craft beer place. They have Belching Beaver's peanut butter nitro, peanut butter stout on nitro, and we've had it there together. And I was just there, and they still had it. I wasn't sure if they still had it available, but it was awesome.
right.
And it's a good beer. It's just one of those things when you put it on nitro, it just makes it perfect. I mean,
No, it really does.
I mean, it really does. And sometimes when beers you've given to me on Nitro, I'm like, it makes it kind of creamy. I'll take the original.
Right.
But sometimes it just makes it even better.
So, beer information on this one for the beer nerd information. This is actually only a 4.8, but it does have an IBU level of 38% or 38 IBUs, and that's actually off Untapped, which is kind of rare for a stout beer to be that bitter.
Yeah.
And that's not saying that that's really bitter, but that's for a stout on Nitro, that's pretty high.
Yeah.
So, we usually rate things. It's about 1 through 5. It's 1 obviously being the worst, 5 being the best. What would you give this Nitro beer on St. Patty's?
On St. Patty's Day, Nitro Irish Stout, Colorado, Breckenridge Brewery. I would definitely say it's a good beer. It's got good flavor. I would say 4 1/4.
4 1/4
for this style of beer, because we're judging as a beer of the style of beer, right?
Yes.
So I would say 4 1/4 out of 5. I would probably say, I think we've been giving a lot of those today though, but we've been doing a lot of good beers, so it's kind of hard to not give it up. It's, to be honest though, I mean, I usually drink super strong beers. I mean, 8%, 9%, 10%. We did 12 point something earlier. But I'm judging this as this style of beer, right? So,
right.
I mean, normally I'm going to drink something stronger than this because it's just, I'm trying to catch a buzz. But it's really good. It's really smooth. And I would say this is the kind of beer that you want to drink when you're drinking liquor.
No, yeah.
If you're drinking some scotch or some Irish whiskeys or something like that, and you're,
bourbon.
you're drinking some bourbon or something like that, this is the perfect kind of beer because I feel that beers like this were either made for that or, just someone who wants a low, alcohol content beer. But this is perfect for someone that's, having some beer with their liquor.
I'm going to say it's heavy enough to where, if you were going to drink this alone, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. To me, these kind of stouts, Irish stouts, or even gas stouts, we use Guinness Drought or Murphy's or any of those things. To me, it's a meal beer. Like, I wouldn't say.
I wouldn't drink this to get drunk. I wouldn't drink this to get drunk.
No. That's what I'm saying. Like steak and potatoes, this all day, every day. And the best part about that too is that you can get a good, flavorful beer without being inebriated after a meal. So that's why I kind of like these beers.
Yeah.
So I'm going to agree with the 4.25 out of 5 because of the fact that with this kind of style beer, because to me this is the Guinness Drought, Murphy's, that kind of nitro
it's
stout.
Got good flavor.
No,
really
it does, but that's what I'm saying. It brings it up a notch because there's a little bit more of a tartness to it. There's a little bit more of a stout flavor to it, but it's not heavy.
And like a good malty
right.
kind of flavor.
That's what I mean. It's not heavy, but it's definitely still got flavor enough to where you can taste the roasted malts. You can taste the fact that it drops off and it's real smooth. And then you know what? The nitro helps a lot with that. Because I'm kind of wondering if we ever go see these guys and we go to their brewery, is their regular stout, their Irish stout without nitro, is it just as good? That's kind of the catch with a lot of these nitro beers is like, unless you're purposely always going to make them on nitro, it's going to taste different.
We're the kind of people we want to try it side by side to really figure it out. And I've done that a few times with things that I've liked at certain breweries. I'll take their 2 IPAs that I've kind of tried to figure out which one I like the best, and I'll just get 2 tasters and just kind of side by side them. I would probably say that it's going to be better on nitro, and I still would say, for me personally, this is the kind of beer that I would drink when I'm drinking some really fine scotch or some kind of liquor and
heavier
beer with it, like John Lee Hooker style,
no Irish car bombs,
1 bourbon, 1 scotch, 1 beer kind of deal. Kind of like some of the Mexican beers that we tried. I would think would be perfect if you're drinking tequila. Almost, I wouldn't say like a chaser, but like a lot of times if you're drinking liquor, you kind of want that beer to kind of offset it and kind kind of keep you mellowed out. But I would definitely say it's a good beer, and especially St. Patty's Day. If definitely should try something like this. Because there's not that many Irish, beers, Irish style beers, available. There's usually mostly, liquors.
Well, and that's the thing too, because St. Patrick's Day. I mean, hey, if you can't get a hold of this, get us drought, get us extra stout, Smithage, Harps, Bass. I mean, and that's the kind of concept that this is. But this is actually a microbrewery. This is a craft brewery that does that same style, and that's why we wanted to try this. So let's do this. Finish that up. You want to try another one?
No one's watching.
It doesn't matter. Do you want to try another one?
I was
Okay. Well, then I guess we're going to call it tonight. Happy St. Patty's.